I've known Vinai for a number of years. Without doubt, he was the candidate. Sometimes, when you employ somebody, you don't know if you're going to get on, but because we've known each other, that risk wasn't there. So I'm very excited that Vinai's joined us, and I think the club is going to benefit enormously from it. Vinai, good communicator, honest, integrity, bright, right? Enjoys being challenged, and I want to be challenged as well.
Working with good people is one of the, if not the leading characteristic I look for when I'm doing a new role. Daniel and I have known each other professionally, as we've said, for a really long time, and I think we've got really complementary skills, and I think we're going to form a really powerful partnership. I'll be taking more of a lead day to day on operational matters on the pitch and off the pitch, but we'll be working on everything together, and certainly there won't be any decisions of any significance that happen at the club that we're not completely joined at the hip on. That doesn't mean that we always agree. We often disagree, and we often challenge each other, but I think that's a good thing, and I think by working together we'll get to better answers. I think I've got some experience that is going to be valuable and is going to be helpful, but I don't have all the answers. I need to learn. I need to understand more about this football club. And listen, ultimately, in terms of how I see it, it's quite simple. I think a football club exists to make its supporters proud. And the way that you make your supporters proud is by competing to win and ultimately winning trophies. Doing that in a way that's consistent with the histories and the values and the traditions of a club that have been built up over many, many decades. And I'm genuinely not just saying it because he's sitting next to me, but Daniel was a key part of my decision as well. I think one similarity we've got, which is probably not healthy, is I know that we're both absolute workaholics, and there are lots of WhatsApps pinging between us at all hours of the day.
I thought you were going to say we both like red wine.
Yeah, but I don't know as much. I don't know as much about red wine as you. So my immediate priorities around joining the club are really threefold. The first is, of course, football, both on our men's team and our women's team. Obviously, we've got Thomas joining to be our head coach of our men's team. We're all super excited, but the hard work starts here. For our women's team, we've made a difficult decision around Robert. Grateful for everything he's done for the club, but we are going to make a change there as we've announced. So busy in a process at the moment to determine who the next coach will be of Tottenham Hotspur Women. I am very focused on spending a lot of time to understand what's important to our supporters. So I'm listening, I'm watching, I'm reading, and I'm speaking to supporters. Some of that is structured, so I've got meetings with the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust and the Fan Advisory Board coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I want to learn. I want to learn what's on the mind of our supporters. And the final priority for me is spending time with as many of our 800 people as I can. Understanding from them what does the club do brilliantly well that we can build on, and what are the areas where we can improve, because we want this to be the best possible football club it can be, and we've got 800 supremely talented people in this organisation, and we want to make sure that we get the most out of them to further the club.
I'm very grateful to Ange. I don't regret appointing Ange. In his first season we finished fifth, and in our second season we were over the moon to win a trophy. But we need to compete in all competitions, and we felt that we needed to change. I've got an excellent relationship with him. I told him you're always going to be part of our history. Himself and his family always welcome back. It was a collective decision. It wasn't my decision. We do everything together. Emotionally, it was difficult, but we believe we've made the right decision for the club. Whenever you have a new coach, it's always a fresh start. Always have different ideas. But, we want to build on the success of winning a trophy last season. One of the things that stood out to me with Thomas, clearly highly intelligent, great communicator, superhuman being, plus all the other technical aspects that are obviously important. But, they really stood out to me in those 2 parts.
So we ran a really, really thorough process at speed. We defined 10 characteristics that we think are important to be a successful manager at Tottenham Hotspur. We analysed in real detail, through our technical staff led by Johan, more than 30 candidates. We had a shortlist. We spent a lot of time with the shortlist, and Thomas was absolutely the number one candidate and could not be more excited to have him join the club. I agree with everything that Daniel said around his characteristics. Personally, one of the things I'm really excited about, that he is an outstanding developer of young players. So I really look forward to seeing what he can do with the squad that we have here. I think the club has got wonderful foundations. I'm biased. I grew up in London, so I think the club is based in the greatest city in the world. It has an outstanding stadium and training centre, and it's got a huge global fan base. The foundations are brilliant, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that there was another level that this football club can get to. We got a bit of a taste of that in Bilbao. I think everyone associated with the club wants more of that. And I think there is another level this club can get to, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that level was there.
We're very proud of the stadium, but we need to make sure we win on the pitch. There's no point in having a wonderful stadium if you haven't got a wonderful team and winning. I mean, the reason we do all these other events is to provide additional financial resources to the club, which in turn goes back into the team. Everything is about the team. Everything.
I don't know how you do it. I remember, I think when you got to 20 years, you might not remember this. I remember I sent you a nice bottle of wine with a letter saying, I don't know how you've done it for so long, because it just takes everything from you. It just, the energy you need to put into it. So your stamina is quite something.
Do you know, I've got very broad shoulders. Failure's not an option. The desire to succeed. And because it's so difficult, I want to succeed even more.
My perspective of you is I think you have got a very thick skin and you've got very broad shoulders. But I also see how much it affects you, because I can see how much you want to win, right? So I think sometimes there's a perspective that because you have got a thick skin, that it doesn't affect you. But I see it does. And I could see it in you before the Bilbao final, because I could see just how much you wanted it.
The pressure and the disappointment of not winning over a number of years, I just wanted it so desperately, not just for me, my family, but all the fans around the world. We deserve some luck. And that last 7 or so minutes was horrific. It felt like hours. So when that final whistle went, that was just an amazing experience. And you saw the outpouring of emotion with the parade. It was just incredible. We've won a European trophy, but it's not enough. It's what we haven't done that is more important. You need to win the league. We want to win the Premier League. We want to win the Champions League. But, we want to win.